Hello, welcome to latest episode of Data in the Hallway. Excited to have three guests on this episode today. Pretty excited. I think this is the first time we had three guests on. We have three very exciting guests from all the way from Jakarta. We recently concluded a TiDB Future App Hackathon, and two of the seven winners came from Indonesia. So that was actually pretty cool. I don't think we had winners from like Indonesia last year, so even having one would have been exciting, but we had two teams. So I'm gonna try to say their name. I mean, apologize in advance if I don't pronounce them correctly, and you can correct me. We have Ahmed Fadila, who won the first prize with this project. He'll tell us about, and then Ayusudi Dwaya Janti, and Lutfi Arifin, who their project, I mean, finished fifth. So it's good to have all three of you. Hopefully, I did a reasonable job with your names. Let's do like a quick introduction. Well, Ahmad, we can just start with you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you currently do and where you're joining us from.
Okay, thank you, Ray. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ahmad Nur Fadilah. You can call me Ahmad, and I am a full stack developer based in Jakarta, Indonesia. Um, I recently won the TiDB Future App Hackathon with my project called Zapfeed, which is web application for collecting and analyzing feedback data using AI. I studied in information system at Universitas Terbuka and have experience working as front-end engineer at Go. That's for
Cool.
me. Right.
All right. Thanks. Awesome. Aya, do you want to go next? Like,
Sure. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ayu, and I'm a curriculum developer at Hacktivate. It is a bootcamp to be a full stack developer. So I have an understanding on full stack developer with JavaScript and data science. My background is information system from Binus University Online.
cool.
Okay, currently working and learning at the same time.
All right. Cool. Welcome. Lutfi, I think it's your turn.
Yes, it's my turn. Hello, everyone. I'm Lutfi. Uh, yeah, Lutfi Arifin, basically, in most people call me Lutfi. So I'm currently work as mobile engineer at Tech in Asia, tech media company in Southeast Asia. In addition to that, I am studying in Venus University, majoring on information systems. Yeah, that's all.
Cool, cool. Well, thank you. Thanks for your introduction. Yeah, I remember, I mean, this is a long time ago. Like, remember university days. I can't imagine. I mean, I did have a part-time job working in an office, but I can't imagine uh, doing a development job and balancing school at the same time. So, I mean, want to ask all three of you. I mean, obviously, I mean, Indonesia is a huge country. I just had to like look this up the other day. I think Jakarta alone has more than 11 million people. Like, I think that number is probably pretty accurate. So it's obviously a huge place. Like, 11 million. That's more people than in some of the European countries, right? So huge population base, but and I assume like based on our experience at PingCAP, we had meetups there with large attendance, so we know there are a lot of developers in Indonesia in that region in particular. But tell us, like we can start to go in the same order and start with you, Ahmad. How did you get started as a developer? Like when did you first develop an interest, and then how did you decide that you want to study information systems at a university?
Yeah. I started my journey as a developer back in middle school when I first encountered HTML and CSS. I was happy
Wow.
with by how I could creating something visually appealing just by writing code. From there, I became more curious and began learning on my own through online resources and tutorials. Over time, I expanded my skills to include JavaScript and then backend technologies like Laravel, PHP. The more I learn, the more I want to build application and solve real-world problems. which eventually led me to pursue a degree in information system.
Okay, wow, that's pretty cool. Started that pretty early. So, I mean, what kind of tools like did you use? Did you like use like online tutorials or like online courses or?
Yeah. I read a lot in tutorials in website, and then I watch YouTube, Udemy, and take a lot of course in there.
Cool, cool. All right. Ayu City, what about you? Like, how did you get started, and what was sort of your inspiration? Like,
Okay. For me, it is quite a long story. Because before now, my background is dentistry for
oh
a three
wow,
semester, but I stopped at the learning because my dad passed away, and at that time, I have to think about how to get a job. So I took a boot camp. So over 4 months, I learning out boot camp to be a full stack developer. Gratefully, after 1 week or 2 weeks after I finished my boot camp, I got a job as an full stack developer. At the same place I learned boot camp at TiDB. And now it's keep developing that I'm now is a curriculum developer. And because I haven't had my bachelor degree, my mom pursued me to have a formal education. So that time is at Corona time at moment. So I choose Binus Online. So I never come to campus, but I keep learning. But I already know code before I start my university. That's
right,
it. And I
right.
learned in my early 20
Wow,
about coding.
cool. Wow, what a journey, and yeah, it must have been. It's a little difficult to continue like to do education during COVID times, and yeah, and glad you found a good online university to start your studies. Lifty, what about you? Like, when did you get started, and what was your inspiration?
Yeah. My journey starts on my vocational high school when I saw my seniors participating in the Tech Olympics, Olympiade, which had competitions in network engineering, web designs, and software development. Yeah, uh, that was inspiring me. But I was interested on the software development path. So yeah, I because of that, I learning a lot from the YouTube, from the documentations a lot. And yeah, I had the opportunity to compete and manage to secure the first place in the regional and provincial levels and the second place for the national levels. Yeah. And that experience ignited my patience and here I am.
Cool. I mean, that's amazing. Like, I mean, I think the experience is similar for a lot of people who start their like education, even in North America. There are a lot of online tools and resources. I mean, some you have to pay for, but there are plenty of things like YouTube. You mentioned. I mean, it's like a free resources. If you want to learn a quick concept, there are a lot of resources available. So I think it sort of democratizes like learning and knowledge. I mean, the old days, like you have to go to expensive universities and get books that are not cheap. And I mean, Daniel, I assume a lot of people have same experiences like in Europe, like even in
Yeah,
mid-career, people that didn't start out as a developer can pick up how to use
yeah.
Python, right? So,
And one of the things you didn't even mention is software licenses. Like 20 years ago, you want to do something with databases, so you needed some expensive hardware, you needed an expensive software license or some other way of getting something to run, and not only for a database, but also for many of the other components. And nowadays with open source, that's just so much easier. You can just
right,
download
right.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that's another good point too. That sort of become normalized, and it's the technology is more accessible in a lot of different regions, and that's sort of reflected in our like a hackathon participation. We had people from over 80 countries like participate, and we had a lot of people, for example, from Africa, which we saw like last year as well. So it's good to see that the skill sets, not just focused on a few regions in the world. This is sort of a broad question, and any one of you can answer this, and if you don't want to answer it, that's fine as well. Like, as you're starting to become a developer, or even today, do you have like role models? I mean, it could be somebody at work, it could be your teachers. Like, do you have any role models, or are there even influential like developers who have a big presence, like a social presence in Indonesia, or that you follow? Like Akmal, do you want to go first, or it looked like you wanted to say something, but or any one of you can answer. So go ahead. So
Okay, me. Okay.
yeah.
For me, one of my biggest role models is Taylor Otwell. He is the creator of Laravel. I admire his ability to create elegant and powerful tools that have greatly influenced web development. His focus on developer experience and community engagement is something I strive to emulate in my work. He is great for me.
Cool, awesome. Yeah. Well, what about like I use City or Lutfi? I mean, do you have somebody that you really look up to, that you regard as a role model? Like,
Okay. Role model in a tech industry, I really like watch YouTube from Sandika Galih. He is a professor in some university, but he is active to be a YouTuber and teach people from YouTube. And he also like to live stream in Twitch and commenting and reviewing someone portfolio. It is cool thing that I have seen. Other than that, most I admire is an actor and artist.
cool. All right. Lutfi, do you have anything you want to share? And then the people that you mentioned, we'll try to list those people in the podcast description as well, so people can check them out. But
Yeah. For me, actually, my first role model is actually my seniors back on the vocational high school. That makes me wanna start on this journey. So thanks to Bang Widi if he watching this, yeah. And yeah, from he I can learn a lot. Like the coding is like a puzzle, like not some stressful thing. Yeah, and it's fun. Yeah, that's all for me.
cool. Yeah. No, it's good to have those people. I mean, they don't have to have like a million followers on YouTube, but I mean, I like that too. Like, whether it's people at work and at school that that are sort of role models through their actions, right? And then you can sort of follow, try to mimic them, and I think that's a good way to develop. I think, like all three of you mentioned, that like you're studying information systems of some sort at university. Like, how popular is that major? Is it very competitive to get into that major, or like because I mean, for example, like computer science in a lot of university in the US it's become very competitive to even get accepted into the program. But I want to know what that scene is like in Indonesia universities. So. I thought you can go ahead first, so we might as well keep the same order if you want to answer that. But
Okay. I guess the popular major is computer science, but time I feel bored with code. So I'm thinking about how to be a PM, how to be UI UX designer. And grateful. The good thing is when I enter in information system, actually I learn many things like cybersecurity. We learn that. We learn also UI UX. We also learn about business analysts. So to be a data analytic too, many things. Not really into a code, but I already know code before I started. So it's a great thing. But in
Cool.
Indonesia, I think much government really into computer science. They like
Hmm.
to improve on digital transformation. Like they create a Bangkit. There's an program from our government called Bangkit, and it is provide to be a developer or Android developer, and also machine learning. Nah,
All right.
that's it.
Cool. Cool. All right. Ahmad, Lutfi, anything you want to add? I mean, if not, that's fine too. Like we can just move on to other topics. But
Yeah, I wanna add some interesting here.
yeah.
Well, I don't have exact numbers for the popular majors in Indonesia, but
Hmm.
from what I have seen or in my circle, in my environments, majors like information system and computer science are very popular in my circle. And interestingly, many of my friends who come from non-tech backgrounds, such as pilots and industrial fields, yeah, they are switching to these fields back when the COVID-19 started. Yeah,
Hmm.
they search more about the future opportunity in other sectors, and yeah, and they see the tech careers. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think this majors is very popular in Indonesia.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
it.
Great, great. All right. Well, let's move on to your hackathon projects. I mean, the reason I met you is because you participated in our hackathon. I was just not just having you as winners. There's just the number of people that have participated from Indonesia was pretty amazing. But I think obviously not just because you won the awards, but when I looked at even just your demo video, and I'll add a link to our project gallery so people can check out all the projects. Even just watching the demo video was pretty inspiring. Like Akbar, let's start with your Zapfeed project. I mean, I think you give a brief description, but tell us about how you got the idea, like how you built the application, and then what problems you're trying to solve. So,
Okay.
yeah.
One of my recent project is Zapfeed, which is I developed for the TiDB Future App Hackathon. Zapfeed is a web application that simplifies the process of collecting and analyzing feedback data powered by AI. So users can easily integrate it into their website with just one line of code. And it features customizable widgets. So users can change the color, change the font, and anything. And the idea of this came to me while using the Versal dashboard, where I noticed a feedback button in a dashboard of Versal. I realized there was a need for more intuitive way to gather and analyzing feedback, which sparked my interest to building in this hackathon. And to build David, I used the tech stack, including Next.js for the front end and TiDB serverless for the database. And for the styling, I use a Tailwind CSS and LangChain for the integrating my Zephyr to OpenAI for AI functionalities. I think that's for Zephyr.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I like if you go look at the project gallery, you can still like look at the demo. You can play around with it yourself, and it was actually pretty cool. And yeah, I didn't before I talked to you, I didn't realize like that's you got the idea from Vercel, and but you sort of managed to like improve how a lot of people do like try to get feedback from various websites. So. Um, Next, I'll go with let's talk about Hangout AI, which is the application that Lutfi and Ayusudi you two worked on. Like, yeah, give us a brief description of your app and how you got the inspiration to work on your solution.
Okay. Okay, Hangout AI is web app that had a AI that create itinerary where where user entering their time, duration, and also location, and also the date. And we create the list of the itinerary, including the list itinerary is also, we had the data, location, and attraction, and also the restaurant on our database with TiDB. We are using vector search with it, but the idea come from our hackathon before TiDB. So we are entering a hackathon called Hack Jakarta. It is from Angel Hack and Grab, and we are not winning it, but the idea come from there because we're thinking about creating where we are people get to get know, but they know they're going with a new person. They will like a dating app, but this dating app is provide to people meet each other, but we can make sure it's secure, it's safety because there's another person who is a driver. So that's the idea come from. And how do I engage with the idea? It's because Lutfi also have application called Wigo AI. Wigo. It is a travel app. Maybe Lutfi can explain it more. Oh, okay, that's it. Lutfi, do you
Cool.
want to add
Yeah, Luffy, you want
more?
to tell us about WeGo application that you have? Or
Yeah, sure. So, I have built WeGo with my one of others, my college, my partners there. Yeah, so we are the problem was in the tourism attractions. There are so many lines for buying a ticket. So from that problems, we already have a solution for that, like uh, using the online marketplace for buying the tickets and then like just showing a QR for that. Yeah, and yeah, the problem that we found is in 2020 back then, yeah, when oh sorry, before COVID, it's like 2019, I think. Yeah, so still so little integrations with digital payments back then. Yeah, so we have the solutions, but yeah, we already have some asking for the funding for the some investors, but yeah, actually it's hard for us to getting the funding there, and yeah, it's just like we know we are still developing for that. Yeah, that's
cool,
Vika.
cool, awesome. So, I mean, somewhat of a broad question, and then I mean, to close on like a Hangout AI. I mean, I was playing around with the demo while we're judging. It was good because you focus on like three cities, like I think Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, and Singapore. I mean, those are actually three cities that I've never been to. And I was able to sort of like plan out, like pretending that I'm going to land at Jakarta at like 10 a.m. And, I picked a random neighborhood on Google Map, and it sort of provided me with suggestions, which I thought was pretty cool. So, um, yeah, so people should definitely check both projects out. And again, like it's somewhat of a broad question, and I think like all of you work with other vector search, like other databases with vector search capabilities. I think Ahmad, you mentioned like Pinecone before, and then I think Lutfi, you in particular, had experience with like a Mongo. During this like a TiDB Future App Hackathon, what did you learn? What were some of the new things that you learned from the event, and then how did like a TiDB's vector search feature compare with some of the other databases that you used before? And Ahmad, I guess we'll start with you. So.
Yeah, okay. Um, I think one of the main challenges I faced was ensuring seamless integration with various websites. And I had to make the integration process as simple as possible while also ensuring that the widget was customizable to different branding needs. And additionally, managing the AI component poses on some challenges, especially in accurately categorizing feedback and providing relevant suggestions and about chatbot and anything like that. And I think one of the standout feature is in TiDB vector search is the ability to handle large datasets efficiently while providing fast search capabilities. And TiDB serverless architecture allows for easy scaling without the need for complex configuration. And TiDB is very good for my project.
Sorry, I was myself was muted. So yeah, glad you had a good experience. And there was somewhat of a risk because it was still like in beta during the hackathon. But yeah, I'm glad you're able to get things started pretty quickly and had it was able to build your app. Like Lothier, I said, what about you? Like, what was how does like a TiDB vector search, like for example, compare with like a Mongo? Mongo's they've been doing it for longer than us in terms of vector search, but how did it compare with Mongo, and what were some of your learnings while you're learning this new product, TiDB?
Okay, I think me first, yeah. Actually, I've been studying this vector search just like 1 until 2 months from now. Yeah, it's just short. And I first learned from the IU, which sparked my interest. And since then, yeah, I've been diving deeper into it and exploring the documentations, particularly on the framework like LangChain and Llama Index. Uh, for the vector search, when I first encountered TiDB vector search through the Llama Index documentations, I found it's a quite easy to get started. Yeah, compared to the other vector search tools. Yeah, it's complete example and great explanations there. Yeah, which help me to understand more about it. And yeah, TiDB provides straightforward, yeah, with learning curve and delivery accurate and efficient results in my experience. But yeah, I think I have been using Elasticsearch back then, but Elasticsearch I need install it first, right? Because the opens the hosting the hosted the hosted Elasticsearch there is the price, right? So yeah, it's hard to run locally due to the high computations need on the Elasticsearch. So TiDB makes me seamless for the integration first. Like I'm using trying to go around with the TiDB. Yeah, it's easy to use actually. Yeah,
Cool.
that's it.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I said, do you have anything to add to what Lutfi has mentioned, or?
No, it's
Yeah,
all.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
all.
no, yeah, that's fine. So cool. Um, uh, Daniel, did you have a question? Like, I wasn't sure if you were trying to jump in or not, but yeah.
No questions from me.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
And it's obvious that all three of you participated in a lot of hackathons, which is kind of cool. And that's sort of another similarity that I see with young developers in the US. Like a lot of college students they're studying, they're going to classes, and they're just doing a lot of hackathons. Um, so besides like hackathons, like in general, like what are some of the best ways to reach out to or meet other developers in Jakarta? Like are there meetups or are there events that or other places that where you work that it's easy to like reach out to and find developers? So like Akbar, do you want to start or like
Yeah, I think the
Maybe.
best way to meet and reach out to developers in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta, is by participating in tech meetups, workshops, and conference. And there's a lot of young people in there to meet up and hang out to meet the people in Indonesia.
Cool. All right. City, what about you? Like, do you have like suggestions beyond what Ahmad has mentioned? Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, joining an event and meet others.
Mhm.
Other than that, joining a community. In Indonesia, we had a Google developer group, and I also active at that. Maybe I join volunteering, and we meet each other with other developer. Sometimes it's actually the friend of my friends, and we getting to know each other because of it. Other than that, by joining a competition, we also get to know others. Like my last time on-site hackathon, it made me meet with my students. So
Mhm.
alumni from Hacktiv, I met them. And then it turned out like we are networking each other
Right.
like that.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Lutfi, anything you want to add beyond what the two people have said already? But,
Yeah, actually, same like the Ayu and Ahmad. And actually, I met with Ayu during the university meetup, which was a great opportunity to network like minded individuals. Yeah, and I have a lot of friends, make a lot of friends from the events and meetup as well.
right. Right. Cool. Yeah. It's like I mentioned before, like one of the ways we got a lot of registration for this event was uh, yeah, the TiDB community was at a meetup in Jakarta, and then and I think all I did was provide like a couple of slides on this is what the hackathon's about, and within a few days there were like hundreds of people registering, which was like really cool. Like it was like one of the most effective meetups that we had, around the world. Like we even had a meetup in like Amsterdam. I mean, a lot of people visited our site. But in terms of like a number of registrants, like this particular meetup was in Jakarta was like a gold mine for us, so which we're pretty happy with. So yeah, I mean it's thanks again for participating in the hackathon, submitting great applications, and congratulations on winning. And yeah, so we have a last question, which is a tradition. We obviously had guests from all over the world, so we asked them to tell us about something about their city or town they live in that many people may not know about. We had people from obviously where I live in the Bay Area, that's relatively well known. We have guests from like Mumbai, for example, but you're the first guest from Jakarta. Like I said, it's a huge city. I haven't had a chance, unfortunately, to visit yet, but um, yeah, tell us something about Jakarta that you feel you're proud of. I mean, it can be something very simple as your like a favorite coffee shop or favorite place to visit. But yeah, let's start with you. Let's see if we all come up with something different from all three of you. But,
Yeah, I think Jakarta is one of the few cities in the world where you can experience both modern urban life and traditional culture side by side, making it a fascinating place to explore. That's for me.
cool, awesome. Sounds nice. Hey, Sudi, what about you? What's sort of your favorite thing? Um,
My favorite
uh,
things is went to concert. I really into like Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, Coldplay, and I'm so happy like live in Jakarta because when they come to Indonesia, they had a concert in Jakarta. And a fun fact about it, they if they mention they went to ICE BSD, it's actually not Jakarta, but it's a really good stadium too. And in
mm,
Jakarta, we have Gelora Bung Karno. It is a place where a football play, but for a concert, it's also a great thing to watch a concert there.
wow, Cool. Great music scene too, it sounds like. But like, what about you,
Yeah.
Lutfi?
Okay. From my side, I think I love Jakarta for the fast pace, uh, fast pace. Like, yeah, because of the fast pace, I feeling motivated every day, I think. Like feeling motivated for going to work and to see my friends to work together. Yeah. Contrast with the Bandung, just a couple of hours from the Jakarta, the vibe is very different.
Hmm.
Where the life is down a bit. Yeah. If 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 I have tired of my work, I usually go to Bandung for resting,
Hmm.
like seeing the green of the trees and yeah uh and relax and enjoy the life.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe
Cool.
yeah, sometimes we need to rest, right?
Yeah.
Take a break.
Cool. I mean,
Yeah.
so you have a great escape place when you get tired of the metropolis, I
Yeah,
guess. So, but,
great.
I mean, Daniel, you travel a lot. Like, did you have a chance to go to Jakarta? Like, I've never been. So, but,
No, I haven't been there. Would love to
yeah.
go someday.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah.
closest I've been to is Thailand. So hopefully one of these days. So cool. Well, thank you very much. Not only sharing your experience as a developer in Jakarta hackathon, but travel tips as well, which is I mean, I keep talking about this. We need to have like a synopsis of all the travel tips that we collected from all of our podcast guests. So, well, thank you. Appreciate you joining us, not just for the hackathon, but for the podcast and also like joining us like late in the evening. But I guess as hackers, you're kind of used to late nights. But thanks for joining. Cool. All right. Well, appreciate it. We'll see you online soon, or maybe I'll get a chance to visit you in person in Jakarta someday. So cool. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
sure.
thanks. All right. Take care.